everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a side dish of bok choy with tomatoes, and I want to say that I was inspired to do this by something that one of our viewers, Michael, shared with me on a way that he likes to enjoy bok choy. So one of these days I might venture into that as well. But for now I want to show you my inspiration from his tip. Thank you, Michael, for sharing with me. First thing we're going to do is start out by draining a 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. We're going to drain it the best we can straight into the pot that we're going to cook in. Okay, now we're not going to toss out these tomatoes. We're certainly going to use the tomatoes, but what we're going to do is use this tomato juice to what I want to call healthy saute some onions and some garlic. You could skip this and use olive oil if you want to use olive oil. And we're just going to do it this way for now. I know a lot of people want to not use the added oil, so this is a way to get around that. Now, I'm going to just place these tomatoes over a bowl so I could collect any more juice that drains out. We are going to use every bit of this, but right now we're just going to set that aside. I'm going to turn the stove on, just to get this started, about a medium high. And as soon as that warms up, then we're going to put some onions in there and garlic and some seasonings. All right, I can see that this is getting good and hot, so I'm going to start adding some food to this. I have 1/3 cup of diced yellow onion, 3 cloves of garlic that I've chopped up, 1.5 teaspoons of dried parsley flakes, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, and we're just going to, what I want to say, steam these a little bit. Yes, they are in the liquid. You could call it a healthy saute. We're just giving these aromatics a chance to cook a little bit, soften down some before we add our bok choy to this and the tomatoes. All right, you can see that it is cooking now, and this is giving our dried herbs a chance to rehydrate and release some of their good flavors in here. And we don't need to do this very long, just really a couple minutes is plenty, 2-3 minutes is plenty. Okay, now I'm ready to move forward. I have a big bowl here of pretty finely chopped bok choy, 4 cups of chopped bok choy, and we're just going to add that straight in. And now we're going to add the rest of those tomatoes and any other tomato juice that has drained out. And we're just going to stir this up and basically just toss it and allow it to keep cooking until that bok choy cooks down some. It does not have to turn to mush in this. It's going to be a nice little side dish. And we just want to let it cook until the bok choy is as tender as you want it to be. And that can be very briefly, or it can be a long time. You know, it's a matter of your personal preference. To me, 5 minutes is probably about right, probably about plenty. But again, you can cook it as short or as long as you want to cook it. Notice I did not add any water or any vegetable broth to this. If you want to add some more liquid to this, you can add some water if you want, but I think vegetable broth would be better. But you really don't need it as far as I'm concerned, because there's, let's see if you can see it, there's a good bit of liquid still in the pot. Yeah, you can see it there. If you want to cover it up and let it steam down some, you can do that. And I think that's what we're going to do. Now, as this cooks, if you want to add a little salt and pepper, be my guest, you can do that. I'm going to add just a little along the way here. Not a whole lot. A little bit of salt. Not really a huge amount. You stir that in there. That salt helps to brighten the flavor. Remember, salt enhances flavor. Pepper changes flavor. A little hint there for you. but the two seem to go hand in hand really, really well. Now, as you can see, the more it cooks, the more liquid we've got in there. So I'm going to leave the lid off now for a little bit and still continue to stir this as it cooks. And the bok choy is cooking down. Now, you could call this done right now if you wanted to. The bok choy is a crisp tender right now. So again, you could call it done just like it is. It would be delicious just like it is, or you could allow it to cook longer if you want to and let it get really soft. But I think I'm going to call it done just like it is. I like vegetables to be a crisp tender, and so we're going to call it. There's our finished side dish. You could let it cook longer if you want, leave the lid off of it and allow some of that tomato juice to dissipate and evaporate out of there, but I like it is. Well, do give this a try sometime. The recipe is below. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. Bye for now.